up and running. Let me just drop the link here in the chat. So if you guys want to go watch this later, you can. Um, okay, there's the link. Links in chat. Okay. Let's start off with some charts. Drop one or two charts that you'd like me to chart, or take a look at, and then we can take a look at it together just to see what's happening. After that, I'll jump into anything else. Also, let me just share my screen here quickly. Bitcoin, Solana, watching BNB. It's actually really funny. We were looking at BNB last night. I was trading with a few people. Okay, let me just show you what I saw on BNB. So last night this time, right, we were actually watching BNB on the 1 minute just to see how things are playing out. We started in this section at the time, right? So I was suspecting, or actually, I was eyeing this green area over here because this was a very key level for me. There was a nice order block in the 618. We haven't touched it yet, and it was a really strong order block. So I would have liked to see a pullback to 618 because that would have been a nice move, a nice long move from this point. But you can actually see that we got a lot of strength at 50% on that flip already. And then we actually had a very nice move after that. So it actually almost went to TP for this. So that was a nice 2% move. Very clean, very quick. Well, not quick, but let's see how long this was. 9 hours, about 10 hours for this trade. So 10 hours for 2%. Yes, it's a bit slower, but 2% is still good if you are scalping or doing higher leverage trades. So that's what I was eyeing for, right? But unfortunately, it didn't come down to my entry. So I didn't take this trade. But you can see that we played out almost to a T. And you can see that this level that we're on right now is actually really strong. And we haven't been able to break through that yet. So until we've broken through that, I will be bearish until then. Because if we go to a higher time frame, oh, that was still 1 minute. Yeah, so if you go to the 15 minutes, that is a lower high. So I'm still bearish on the overall price action right now. You can see that we are sort of in a strong range on BNB right now. So it will be this range here. We're currently in the middle, so no trades until we either get a bit lower or actually if we break this trend that's forming here. If we can break that, then I'll go long. But if we don't, yeah, it's going to accumulate sideways here for a bit. Okay. We'll check Solana and BNB because those are the two that I actually trade. It's all I trade actually. I don't trade anything else these days. Okay, so BNB is done. Let's go to Bitcoin. I'll go to the 1 hour. Okay, I need to clear this chart. I haven't looked through this chart in a while. I think it will just be good to start fresh. Okay, straight off the bat, we are still in this range that we've got going. This area over here. And we are currently at the bottom of this range. So let me just bring up my other indicators here quickly. Stocks have reversed oscillators telling us a buy is happening right now. Okay, interesting. We are below the MA, 4 hour 200. Let me just make sure that is the 200 for the 4 hour. It's the 1 hour. No, that's not right. 4 hour. There we go. So, what I would like to see, right, is a break in this MA. These two order blocks suggest that might happen. Um, no, not actually. These are bearish order blocks. The fact that the red side is shorter, so the side that's shorter is the side that is weaker, right? So that means it's showing more strength towards shorts, if I have that correctly. But you can see that we had a massive rejection on that MA over there. So if I go to the 4 hour, I just want to check what the overall trend is right now. And it just looks like another big range, actually. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about by ranges, right? If you understand how to trade ranges, then it's fine. You'll have a better time if you understand how to trade the range than you would if you were looking for breaks of ranges. So in this case, if you were looking for moves like this, right? But because there's no volume coming in the market, we're going to be in range season for probably like the next month and a half, maybe even till end of October. October is usually green for Bitcoin, so hopefully that changes things um, for us. Maybe more volume comes in that time, but it's also leading into the festive season, November, December, and generally markets die down in December. Well, for a lot of the world because of Christian holidays. Also, a lot of off time at work, just overall. So that may be one of the reasons why we have a dip towards the end of the year. But hopefully, October gives us a nice push in volume. And if that does repeat the pattern, we may see some volume to the upside leading in the next few months. But looking at the 4 hour right now, we're in the bottom half of this range. So I just let you know what I'm seeing right now. We're at the bottom of this uh, range low. So currently, this is a good area to look for longs, right? Um, just note that we're seeing the same thing play out in those order blocks over there. So the green side is a bit bigger, so that means the bulls are in control. So you will have a bit more resistance um, to go along from here. So we need to see some more accumulation happen in these areas. But overall, if I were to look at it this way, right, let me just bring up my fib to see where we are on this move. Right, No, I drew that backwards. Okay. So for the current move, we're currently on 50%, right? So 50% fib means we're at balance. So it won't make significant moves now. So it's going to need to consolidate first. And then once it's done consolidating, we'll see what happens. We did see it break off trend to the bottom side and a perfect retest there. So that retest was on AMA and it was a break of trend. So chances are that we're not going to find the support we're looking for in this order block. Because if you look closer, right, we've actually touched that order block 3 times. One, two, three. So technically, this one should be cleared out already. Um, so, and that's why we're seeing the reds a bit shorter here. So if the red's shorter on the side, we should come down. So what I would like to see in this case is a pullback, maybe a bit lower to the 618. 618 lines up with the order block as well. So if we do get to this order block, it's quite equally spread. So then from there, we could form a new lower high somewhere in this region if the MA travels down a bit further. So I would like to see a long play out like this. All right, so we would target this consolidation may actually be the next area of resistance, but the MA could potentially line up with where we are right there. So I would then have the stop just below that order block. Hopefully it doesn't become a breaker block because this one above it is leaning towards being a breaker. Also, let me know in the chat if you don't understand anything I'm explaining. Hemless, long position Popcat entry at 55, 56. Hopefully it will hold. We can take a look at that now. Let me just get through the BNB. I see Uncle Waz in the chat, sitting there listening for the alpha. Okay, so decent long, 1 to 4 R for what's this? A 7.2% gain. Hey, brother, I'm good. Just came back from watching Riyadh. Musa. Yeah. It's most of the skit was stuff that he's done, but there were new sections to his play. Hey, bro. Yeah, go get your supper, go get your popcorn, get your faluda. You know, just watch. All good, bro. So yeah, overall, because of this trend line, right? This trend line is telling me we're still very bullish. And if you look right now, we're actually making a head and shoulders. This would be the left shoulder. That's the head, and this would complete the right shoulder. Complex head and shoulders, but it is there. So yeah, look for some more downside. If I go 8 hour, we are in an uptrend. So, but that will only play out if we have this dip that I'm talking about, right? Potentially. I'm not saying it will, but that's what I would like to see. Um, the head and shoulders first has to make its dip. So until we see that dip, I would hold off on going super long from where you are right now. Because just look at this, right? Every time we've touched the 204-hour MA, we've cracked through it like butter. So touch, break up, touch, break down, touch, small break up, But you can see that the momentum is slowing down, right? That was a big move. That was a big move. This was a rapid big move. And now we're having smaller moves, which means on a bigger time frame, we're building up for a bigger move. So that would be something we need to watch out for. Okay, so let me just clean up these drawings quickly. Cool. I'm just going to move that, and I need to add a horizontal here quickly. So I would be happy with anything in line with that low for entry. So that would be the range, right? So let me just draw a box here. And then the target is 59.17, give or take, with a, what's that, 1.8% stop. So that's a bit big. I don't really take those big stops anymore these days. But for the sake of this trade, that is how you would play it out. So realistically, I would then rather try and wait to see if I could get this to like a 1% stop. Because there's nothing going on in the market right now. Try and wait for a lower entry to get a better stop, then maximize how much leverage you can put on the trade. But because this is only a, well, depending on where you get your entry, right? If you were in the middle of the order block, where we were originally, it's about 6%, 7%. So just keep that in mind, right? 6, 7%. How much leverage would you be able to use there? Um, Note that it's going to be a long weekend, so it's going to move slower. So chances of getting stopped out may be easier because it moves slower and it's more likely to consolidate. So don't make the leverage so high that you can't cover the fees, right? So the rule of thumb is for every 10%, or not 10%, for every 10x you add, you need to add at least another percent that you need to gain to cover the fees. So that's a very rough calculation or rough guesstimate, but you can do the calculation. So realistically, right, if you get, um, I'm going to start with 20x because 20x is what I do know the math for. So if you get to 20x and your makers and takers fees were 2%, oh sorry, 0.2%, then you need to get at least 3.6% on the 20x to cover the fees. And then from there, I usually just work it backwards. So then for like 10%, you need to at least get like at least 2.6% to cover your fees. And then for the 30x, that moves up to like 3.8-ish. The math is not accurate right now because I'm just telling you what I do. Okay, let's look at Solana. Sol's having a bad day. A real bad day. Oh, that's what I like to see, man. Ah, so bummed. So it hit my cell zone perfectly, but I didn't have any alarm set. When did I do this? 9th of August. Yeah, that was the beginning of the month. So this was session one where I still did this. Okay, so this was an order block in the cell zone. You can see that the MA was supporting as resistance there, so high resistance area. We did break through it, but not enough. Although the MA probably would have been higher before if I rewind here quickly. Same place. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, you see, so auto block is there right now. So we go back to my time. You can see that we actually tapped it a few times before it actually took into effect. So if I zoom in here, we're probably going to see what happened. Okay, no. The first touch was the most significant touch, and the rest were just like supporting it. But this is what I look for these days. I just look for double tops. Then I look for the other three indicators that I use just to agree with momentum and direction. So at this point in time, stock was high. It crossed at about 86. There was a sell signal, and the blue line on the ASO was on top. That's my confirmations. But the main confirmations is that we're in an order block and we just crossed the MA, right? So any time you're near AMA, that's key resistance level. Also, are we on the right one? Yes, we are. Cool. As for what I'm seeing on Solana right now, right? So I want to see the levels first, previous moves. So for the previous move, we touched 50 and bounced from there. Then we had the rejection, and now we traveled back further. So if I extend this fib, I don't like drawing a fib for a wave that's had massive consolidation in it, right? But I need this to understand where I'm at realistically. So we are very close to a 681 drop. So in retrospective, right, this is a good area to be looking for a buy. I would like to see it come into this green zone because this was previously an area that may have been a nice order block. We haven't come into this area yet, so I'm not sure how relevant this is now at the given point in time. But looking at it, we haven't been in this last, like, what was this? In this last 13% since the 5th of August, right? And we've been consolidating for some time. Um, we have just made a move down after passing the MA. So we haven't actually come back to the MA. So that means that we still need to see something like this happen, right? And then hopefully at this MA, we then see what would happen for a further move. But given that market's looking somewhat bearish right now, we could potentially see a lower high form in this area, just mainly because there's an MA there. And this was support um, at an earlier stage in time. Um, but the fact that it's not there anymore because we broke through it from the bottom back here, so it means the support is gone because we had to come through it at this point. So I'm just going to remove this box since it's not really helping us anymore. So if we look at the chart right now, where we are, Okay, I see a very balanced order block followed by a bearish order block, and then right above that will be the bullish order block. Right. So this lines up with what I'm saying, right? If we get to this area, right, high possibility we will still have some downwards action once we hit that MA. Just mainly because this order block is bearish. And we know that because the red side is shorter. It's more exhausted. So that means it's highly likely to go short from this area. Um, but right, if we see what I've been seeing, and that is when price gets to this level, and we're on the 1 hour chart, right? So if we get to, let me just bring the indicators back. If we get to that level there, and the stock hits 100 and stays there, right? That's the signal that you need to go check the lower time frames, right? If the lower time frames, like the 15-minute and the 5-minute, are also topped out at that same time, then that's the signal that we will, not will, could potentially break that MA. And if that happens, then we can see strength come back into the market and climb. Because the moment we break that MA, it becomes a movement up because this block is already exhausted. Sorry, no, not this block. I need to go back to the 1 hour. This block right here is already exhausted to the bull side. So because the red block's bigger here, there's a chance that we may see this act as a booster. And what I mean by that is when this break of the MA happens, if there's enough momentum for us to get here, we could see this happen. And then obviously we'll need to see what happens over here. But that's all with time and whether there's enough momentum to break this MA. But that's what I've learned now in the past. So if you see stock is topped out at 100 on a 1 hour or 4 hour, check the lower time frames. If the same thing happens there, chances are we're gonna break AMA. I've seen this now like 3 times in the last week with my trading strategy. So just keep that in mind if you're trading. So what I would like to see, sorry, I keep moving the fib. Obviously, what I would like to see is, you can see I still have this long, yeah? I would like to see us come down for a long, but we may already be on our way up, right? So I just zoom out a little more. If you look at the trend that we've got going here, so I'll readjust this now. So that's the trend, right? If this trend gets broken, then I don't think we're coming down to that area where I would like to buy from, right? So it all depends on which comes first. So if this makes a double bottom here, that's also a good buy signal. So let me do this as well. So I'm just gonna set the horizontal here. No, not that one. I need the ray. And this is going to be a buy area. So let me just put an alarm there. Okay, so then this would be the first entry. If it shows strength there, that's perfect. This will be a very tight stop then. Obviously, depending on how close you can get to the bottom of this area for the entry. So for that, I would actually go down to a 15-minute, maybe even a 5-minute. So if you line this up, potentially like this, 0.86 stop loss, that's very nice. I would be happy with that. However, this one may not hold, right? This is not an order block that we're entering on. This is just based off of that low being the last low in the recent, you know, move down. So if that low actually acts as support, then yes, that would be a good area to go long from. But what you could also do is if the trend breaks, you could go long at the break of trend, but it needs to be a significant break. I see we do have a buy signal right now on the 1 hour. So that may indicate that we are going to break out. Um, but I am personally not fond of trading breakouts anymore because there's so much risk involved in them. So I would rather just wait this out. If the break happens, then we'll see it. We'll actually see it play out quite quickly because of this order block here. It's quite balanced, so we'll see what happens there. We might have a small pullback on the breakout, and then maybe on the retest we could see some momentum going on there. But in the case that this level fails, then we would look at the green area in 127. I know Dylan was watching a trade entry for the 126 region, 127 region. That is also one of the reasons why I think that he may be onto something there with the 618 being super strong. So then levels that we would target, right? So if we do break out of this trade, 11% is a very nice number, but this will only play out over like a few days. If we're lucky, that means if we get to this order block, which is exhausted for bears. Sorry, not bears, bulls. So realistically, I would target just below this block. Because once you get to this 140 level, we will most probably see consolidation happening there. And then it's just about managing risk from that point. So you could even target that order block as well for a 1 to 5x. But the bigger trade would be the 10R on Solana. Hemless, going to sleep. Good night. All good, man. Sleep well. Um, what indicator do you use for order blocks? I'm using Lux Algo at the moment. I've got the paid version. So right now I do see good calls on the order blocks. I do know there is a free version of Lux Algo, but I haven't used the free version, so I don't know how bad or good it is compared to the paid version. But yes, so that would be the trade that I'm looking for. I'm just gonna remove this. I don't need that anymore. Mm, Okay, some people asked for AVAX and injective. I haven't actually looked at injective. Be interesting to see. Do I still have injective on this list? Yes, I do. Oh, injective also had a bad day. Okay, injective is struggling just based off of this. That was massive support. It had the MA there as well. We broke down on that MA and just got hammered, like massively hammered. What is this? 10% move? Oh, damn. 40% almost. And then on this side, 17%. That's a lot. Okay, so we're seeing that every time we touch the MA, we're just like, we're dying. So, first of all, if we cross this MA now again, then I would be bearish. Look at this order block. Really stronger here. It's a 19%er, means it's a decent sized order block. So this is a bearish order block, really it's bigger. So chances are that we may see resistance there, meaning we may come back and just crash through the MA if we get a double top there in this area. So that would be an ideal short if that happens. I'm not sure where it's going to happen. Um, if we look at where we are overall right now, I want to draw this fib here quickly. It's not the right fib. It's just for reference. We're on a 618 in terms of support levels. So realistically, we want to see it hold. Yeah. If we see that hold, then we're good. But if this doesn't hold, we're going lower. I see I've got a level here. What is this? $9. Oh, damn. Yeah, Injective's on its last legs at the moment. Wait, how long ago was Injective released? No. It's only the last cycle. If you look at it on a weekly time frame, right? This is time to buy. Like you need to stock up on this if you believe in Injective right now. Just based off of the weekly chart. That stock has already moved a bit, but I mean levels don't lie. Look at this. That alone there, that's like the ultimate support. Like you're seeing a S pattern here, bro. If you see something like that, that is great. It's SR flip, and that would be an ideal point to get in for spot bags. But in terms of the lower time frame where we are right now, um, not looking good from this perspective, right? Ideally, if we see a double bottom in line with this low somewhere here, we lose that level. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. But if we see a double bottom like this form, yeah, that would be a nice longs, I think. But in terms of where we are right now, we have got a trend line that we need to break. That would be this guy over here. If this trend line can get broken, right? Yes, good time to go long, right? But right now we're seeing resistance every step of the way. Um, a bearish order block, bearish order block, another bearish order block. That's a bullish order block. So only when you get to the top of that trend line is there a possibility that we could go up. But every step of the way down, yeah, so that means we're most probably going to see a fake out, so a break, but then it's just going to break back into the range. Oh, that's what I'm speculating, right? But at this point in time, where's my volume? Where did I see volume? There's no volume in injective right now. And because there's no volume in injective, we don't have enough volume to break this trend line. Did I just remove volume? Yes, I did. So yes, you can tell also by where the SPY signal is, right? The buy signal came after a really short signal, after a really short buy signal. It means there's not enough momentum to make any significant breaks right now. So I am seeing something like this happen. It's just gonna bleed down along this trend until probably in the middle of next week. So Tuesday, Wednesday. Because that's when people come back, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, we might see a few like small test of the trend break, but I don't see a good break happening. So until the volume comes back, um, I wouldn't do anything right now. We're not really in an area to go short either. So if I go from this high all the way to that, right? So going from that last high to this low, you will see that that order block that's bullish, the one that I was talking about just now, is like below the 50. So high chance we may see something like this. There's a MA in that order block as well. So we could see some consolidation there. But ultimately this looks like it's gonna form a lower high. I don't know whether there'll be enough strength there to break through that MA this time. So I'm actually seeing or predicting a like rejected retest of that MA, if that makes sense. So if that happens, this is what I would look for then. I know I did say this is a bullish order block here, but because of the MA resistance, I would be targeting something like that. Okay, so when you get to this point, we would need to check for a stock that hits 100. If it hits 100 on this time frame, on the 15-minute and probably the 5-minute, chances are that we are breaking it to the top side, right? To find resistance at the 618. If that happens, that supports the theory of the short even more because we haven't seen enough strength to break through this MA just based on the previous times we've crossed it, right? We crossed it, massive move to the top side, and then eventually just broke down again. We're seeing that same pattern play out here. If you look at it this way, here's a M, there's a M. So could we see a third M? complex double top. Double tops are owning the market right now, and that's what you look for when you trade range trading. If you find a double top in a range trade, that is a good time to go long or short. So that's what you want to see. Paul requested to speak. Yeah, I'll invite you to the stage. BTC, we did do BTC. You can check my live stream. I'll post the link in the chat again. But if you check the live stream, you'll see my analysis on BTC there. Right. Let's take a look at Casper. Heavy range. Straight up, no lies. Range high, range low. We're currently in the middle of it. If you go check the last move, high to low, we're at the 50% and we found resistance there. Now traveling on our way down. Very bearish order block. So looking at this right now. Something like this. And here's the double bottom that I was talking about. Right, double block in the order block, moved up. And now we're making our way back down. Okay, if that's the case, right, then the fact that we've already been in this order block may mean that this one isn't as strong anymore. So then I'm more inclined to think that we may actually do this. To test the range low. Ooh, I'm not liking that, eh? Considering that we've been at this level 2 times before. 1, 2. Triple bottom, maybe. If it's a triple bottom, we may find support there. I don't know. But hopefully the miners are enjoying Casper right now. So can only hope that they keep the price from going that low. Because a break to that means we're coming back to very, very old regions. I mean, I haven't looked at this chart in months. I did looked at this chart. Jeez. This was in December last year. That was the last time I looked at Casper. Okay, but looking at it this way, right? We do come down. There's a nice bullish order block. 24%. slightly more bullish than it is bearish. So we may see support in this area. But we'll need to wait and see on that one. So if I come back to the 1 hour, this is currently where we're at, right? So if we do break this trend line to the bottom side, very bullish, bearish order block may agree with the breakout trend to the downside. So that is two confluences for the short in this area. As to where we're shorting to, it's only going to be till 15 cents from a little more than 16 cents. So in layman's terms, let's see how this would do as a trade. Above this last higher, that's a massive stop loss. I don't think I would be happy taking this trade because it's like almost 1 to 1. Unless you're only willing to like risk a little bit less in this area and you're really confident that we're not going to break back into trend from this area, would I then look for a short? But beware, ASO is blue at the moment. Blue is below, so that means we're going long. There's a buy signal on the oscillator. Stock is also traveling up. That's telling us we found support on this trend line. And we need to wait for more price action to determine what's going to happen there. Currently, this is also a double bottom, so I wouldn't enter short just yet. Right there, there. So this is actually agreeing for a very nice long setup right now. So if we look at this from this perspective, wait, my fib, I need this guy. Stop just under this low, targeting the high of this order block. So depending on how tight you can get your stops, there's a trade right now, right? But that's only if you trust this double bottom. So that is a little less than a 3 R trade. Obviously, if you can get a deeper pullback on a 15-minute or 5-minute, that would be great. But right now, I'm not seeing a good area to enter yet. That's because I'm not looking for one at the moment on a lower time frame. So yeah, lower time frame, 50 minutes about to push back down. So maybe there is opportunity for you to get a better entry. Cool. Phantom. Do I have Phantom on this list? No, I don't have Phantom. But let's get it quickly. Phantom's in a range, very big range. Okay, so that's the range high and the range low for the current range that we're in. are at the bottom of the bigger range, but in terms of the current range, sitting on 50%. Yeah, it's 15%. We've just hit 618 technically from that last low. But if we look at where we are, this direction, that low to this high that was formed here, see that we're on the 382 right now. Between 382 and the 50 was the low. So that's somewhat bullish from this low. Ooh, we're also above the 204-hour MA. So yes, very bullish for Phantom actually. On the 50-minute, that is. Oh yes, this makes a double bottom on the 15-minute, 200 MA. Oh wait, that's not 250 minute, that's 4 hour. Sorry. Yes, 4 hour MA with a nearly double bottom. Really good place to have entered. But we see that Phantom is holding more strength than most of the other tokens with regards to crossing the 200 4-hour MA. If you look at that, significant break above this 204 hour. And now the 204 hours acting as support in this area, which is good. In terms of this section right here, this is the trend I'm seeing. So bearish order block and another bearish order block. So if we do see a breakout happen here, we may see resistance there. I'm more inclined to see this actually as a short, mainly because that's like bearish order block and a very big bearish order block. So I would actually take a short from there if that does play out right. So this is still within my risk tolerance, just covering for this high over here. That means this is literally just going to be a 1x short for me. So obviously we don't know where we're going to find support here. So I am targeting the trend line, and that is a 3, a little more than a 3R. So let me get my horizontal ray here, add an alert, short, Phantom, 1 hour. But yeah, we're gonna need to wait and see because a lot of tokens aren't showing us anything right now. So yes, very slow weekend indeed. Okay. Any questions or any other things that you guys would like me to check? If there's nothing else, I may wrap up this session now. I just want to check how long we've actually been on. Oh, we've been on for an hour now, so that's a good amount of time for me. Um, yeah, I would have liked to seen a trade this weekend, but at this point, doesn't look like there's gonna be anything. Especially with no volume. Ondo, I've never heard of that token. Mm, okay. Yeah, we've not got a lot of strength going on here. See this double top that has happened on a MA. This is really bearish, even by my standards. And it's curving down very nicely, right? So that's a good sign. It means we're coming down naturally. It's not forced, which means it's gonna take us longer to recover and go up. So because this came down so nicely, you're gonna need to wait and see what happens with the range. And the range low currently would be sort of this area here. We are at the bottom of the range low. This horizontal ray would be the range high. We currently are below the range low, but in terms of trading it, we are on support there right now. The ASO is also coming up. Oscillator tells us it's the buy area. Stocks have bottomed out on the 1 hour. So we look at it from that perspective, could be a buy. Bring out a trend line here quickly. Yeah, that could be a buy. We go phobia to there. Yes, okay. This is the play. For those of you who are aware of this token, you got a 2% stop, give or take, if you are looking at this trade. And then targeting the very first order block, the last significant high. This order block here below has got some good uh, support for bulls. So this order block just after this trend line doesn't really have much volume, so I wouldn't really worry too much about it. A breakout here means that we're going to just blow by it. So I am seeing something like this happen with a little bit of accumulation there, and then traveling to this order block, then getting rejected there. Depending on how well this becomes support, may determine if we go back up from there. So something like that. But because all three of these are bearish, we're going to see potentially something like that happen. That's just what I'm seeing, and this is in line with what we saw coming down, right? Long, slow progression down should equal to long, slow progression up. And if that works out correctly, we may see a cup and handle from there, right? To test the range high. Because that would also be just above the 50 fib. Cool. So that's my breakdown of under. BlackRock, real world assets. Okay. Cool. I hope that helped you guys. Um, yeah, sorry if you guys were waiting for the show a little earlier today. I know it was on the schedule for like midday today, but it's not quite scheduled for that time, right? Remember, it's an unscheduled session. So it's usually just when I have time on the day. Uh, I try to have it more or less on the same time, but today I just didn't have the time today. So hopefully, for those that were here tonight and enjoyed the session, the recording is in the link. So if you want to go watch it again, you're more than welcome to. It's on my channel. And I hope you guys had a good session with me. But I think I'm going to call it there for the night. All good, people. Cool. Let me just end the stream here quickly.